Have you ever stopped to think that maybe your pain isn't a punishment, but an invitation? While you're chasing quick answers, God is patiently waiting for you to ask the only question that truly matters. How does the Lord think? Most people pray asking for things. Few pray asking for understanding, and that's why they stay stuck in cycles: emotional, financial, spiritual. But what if I told you that true freedom begins the moment you access the mind of the Creator, not when the pain disappears, but when it finally starts to make sense? If this resonates with you, share this video with someone who needs to stop running and start listening. There's something curious about those who seek to understand God. Most are asking the wrong questions. They want to know what He will give, when, and why. But the real power lies in understanding how He thinks, how He feels. Those who get inside His mind don't chase blessings. Blessings chase them. It's like when you figure out the rules behind a game. Suddenly, you're not playing blind, you're playing smart. And in this game, no pain goes to waste. Most people are obsessed with getting a house, a car, a name, but they forget all of that is a result, not a cause. God thinks in roots, not in fruit. When someone focuses on what moves the Creator's heart, material things become secondary, and ironically, they arrive more easily. It's like doing a 21-day fast, not for a miracle, but for closeness. The real reward stops being a new car and becomes peace. Sleeping without pain in your soul, that's worth more than gold. So if someone truly wants to take the next step, they need to stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What does He think about this?" Understanding how God sees time, for example, changes everything. He doesn't see it like we do. Anxious, impatient, afraid of losing. He sees like an author who's already written the ending, and that opens the door to something few dare to access: the power to create from nothing. True creation doesn't come from excess, but from emptiness. Only those who have learned to live with silence and pain truly know what it means to create from nothing. And when I say nothing, I don't mean lack, I mean potential. The void is fertile when your mind is connected to God's. Have you ever seen someone who lost everything but came back stronger? That strength didn't come from what they had. It came from the invisible they learned to tap into. God doesn't need raw material. He is the source. And when someone aligns with that awareness, they stop saying, "I don't have," and begin declaring, "It already exists within me." Sounds crazy, right? But what's crazier is trying to fix everything with human effort, while real change comes from the invisible. Remember the widow who only had a little oil? The multiplication happened when she obeyed, not when she calculated. Creating from nothing requires faith, yes, but also understanding. It's not just repeating positive affirmations, it's diving into an inner space where you and God think together. And when that happens, even the most tragic circumstances can become divine opportunities. Ever thought that maybe the pain you are feeling today is exactly the invisible material God wants to use to shape something new? And that's where many people get stuck. Not because they lack power, but because they resist relationship. It is not that people can't understand spiritual mechanics or the design of the universe. It's that they don't want to, because understanding requires intimacy with God, and that scares them. It demands humility, surrender, and admitting that control was never really in human hands. Most people would rather live with constant pain than face the idea that there is a higher intelligence, perfect and non-negotiable, behind it all. It's easier to mock faith than to sit down and wrestle with it. You know that excuse, "It's too complex for me"? That's not true. What is truly complex is waking up every day with a hole in your soul and pretending everything is fine. But to break that, you need the humility to say, "Teach me, God. Show me how things really work." And here, as the secret few dare to touch, His mind doesn't open to closed hearts. Because knowing about faith without living faith is like reading a recipe and never turning on the oven. There's a silent resistance that disguises itself as logic. Oh, but there's no scientific proof. And yet people spend hours reading horoscopes or listening to random internet gurus. Deep down, it's fear. Fear of giving up the throne. Because when someone begins to understand how God operates, they realize everything has to change. Habits, worldview, priorities. They'll have to let go of ego. And that hurts. It hurts a lot. But running won't stop him from still being God. God's not in a rush. He never was. While everyone else is sprinting, he waits. He waits with supernatural patience, the kind that isn't measured in days or months, but in eternity. And this patience isn't distance, it's love. He doesn't give up, even when someone says, "I'm done with you." He stays, watching, waiting, because he knows sooner or later everyone feels the pain of living apart from him. There is no plan B. Running from God isn't choosing another path. It is stepping into a dead-end street that only looks like freedom. The creation can try to run, question, hide behind distractions, but his mind is always present, silent, constantly inviting, "Hey, I'm still here." Some hear it early, others only at rock bottom, and yet he still receives, without shouting, without shaming, without charging interest on all the pain we stacked up. It's like God is always sending signs, but many are too distracted to notice. And here's the most curious part. The door was never locked. We're the ones turning the wrong handle. His timing never fails. His presence never leaves. And even if someone insists on walking twisted paths, there comes a moment when something bigger moves. Because God doesn't need permission to intervene, but he prefers to be invited. And that's when something far greater begins. Now that you've understood what truly matters, what are you going to do about it? Will you let this wisdom fade like any other video you've watched and forgotten? Or will you turn it into action? God doesn't reveal himself by accident. If he brought you here, it's because something in you is ready to shift, ready to stop chasing blessings and start walking with the one who creates them. So tell me, which part of this message hit you the most? What will you apply today? Comment below. And if you want to keep learning how to activate the invisible, understand God's thinking, and live with real purpose, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. What's coming next could change your life, but only if you want it to.